A solution to Ali's money troubles may exist thousands of miles away. It's here that the idea of money was first invented. Instead of bartering one thing for another, you could use an object of abstract value. Seashells, copper pieces, dollar bills. Then, as now, cost is dictated by desire. In the remote regions of Sichuan province in China, a new resource is being mined. One that may reinvent or destroy money as we know it.
我们知道这个行业就是比较辛苦的。
This is a new kind of mining. Not for gold or silver, but for Bitcoin.
当时进去的时候，觉得这个东西都比较神奇，根本看不到那个货币，而且它又可以当人民币使用。
Bitcoin is a form of digital cash used on the internet. It appeared online as a monetary manifesto, a complex algorithm uploaded during the 2008 financial crisis, a time that dominated headlines.
Prices on Wall Street. Rising unemployment.
No one knows for sure who created it, an invisible hand that wanted to disrupt a system rife with corruption and human error. One that puts the minting and distribution of money in the hands of the people and their computers.
Bitcoin is decentralized digital cash, basically. It's not physical, you can never touch it. It was just some of like the most perfect, beautiful code I've ever seen.
Bitcoin's beautiful code is just a series of ones and zeros. Code that for a time didn't have any meaning or reason for existence. Until someone ordered 2 large pizzas with all the toppings.
It didn't have a value until the pizza transaction. A guy was convinced to deliver pizza for 10,000 Bitcoin. That was the first transaction that involved something that had value. And that's when the price of Bitcoin started going up.
And it's been going up ever since, with a few dips along the way, eventually reaching a global worth of over $10 billion.
I actually ended up leaving Amazon, and I kind of just dove headfirst into it. That's where I met my business partner, Sean.
Stuff I put there, that stuff's bad. All right, where are the good hash boards?
It's the love for the Bitcoin or the love for the technology that we decided to merge our forces and become Hash the Planet and try to take over the Bitcoin mining world.
Is that 34?
They run a mining and hosting facility where digital prospectors can hook up their machines to stake a claim in the Bitcoin boom. Since its world debut, Bitcoin has emerged as a rival to the central banks. Or maybe it's a solution in a time when global financial disruption splashes across headlines.
China continues.
I think a lot of people don't trust their governments around the world. And I think people are looking for an alternative. It's money for the people, by the people, and the people own it. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of people that fucking don't like it because of that, but that's why it's disrupting.
Bad board can't fix, bad board
I assume
won't
that one is...
ever work.
It's probably burnt.
I do think there's some hardcore junkies that really want a world where it's all digital currency, but the majority of people use Bitcoin as a way to make capital gains, making money. But there's a few that are using it for illegal activities.
Hansa Market is a darknet marketplace vendors can use to offer various goods, which are otherwise illegal to sell and buy. Bitcoin can easily be used anonymously.
This is an admin for Hansa, a marketplace where you can buy anything from drugs to stolen credit cards. An Amazon for the underworld. Encrypted or cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are the coin of the realm here.
A buyer browses the market. He selects the amount he wants to buy, enters shipping information, and gets directed to the payment page, which displays the exact Bitcoin amount he has to pay. The buyer can then optionally give feedback, positive, neutral, or negative. The wider philosophy on the market is creating a safe environment to buy drugs. We understand why governments do not allow drugs, but as with anything that is not allowed, if you really want to have it, you can get it. Period.
The banks have the Fed, but Bitcoin answers only to an algorithm. It has no CEO to arrest, no code of ethics.
So basically, everyone is running the exact same code. The miners are validating transactions that are happening within a 10-minute period, and the first ones to validate all the transactions essentially receive a reward of 25 Bitcoin, which is called a block.
In other words, the Bitcoin economy depends on tens of thousands of processors around the world to run its algorithm. The operators of these processors are paid by the same algorithm in newly minted Bitcoin.
Someone dubbed the term mining because there's only 21 million coins that'll ever be released. So it's essentially like precious metal on the earth. So you have to mine that to get it out. There's only so much of it.
PowerWorks fails to boot, so this is most likely just the BeagleBoard controller. It's heavy, motherfuckers.
So it definitely started out as some kind of a passion for me. Now it's just drive the business forward, more money, more employees, growth, growth, growth.
But this enterprise comes with a potentially massive cost, one that impacts more than just the wallet.
These machines consume an incredible amount of power.
Right now, we're the equivalent of 80 to 100 houses running full power. When we're done with our current build out, we could be between 1,500 and 2,000 houses. I mean, that's a whole town. So putting us here in Washington, the hydroelectric definitely gives us very cheap power.
We're turning water into money. The water is converted to electricity. The electricity is converted into Bitcoin, which is money.
Miners are staking claims around the world, competing for the cheapest power to run as many machines as they can for greater profit.
Our biggest competitor is 100% China.
The regulations are almost nil, if there are any regulations.
我们竞争的对手应该是全球范围内的所有的矿工。
This is Eric of How BTC. He makes regular visits to this mine and is always looking for cheaper power sources to fuel these massive centers and hopefully expand.
算力集中在中国是有它的必然性的。这么大的面积的国土上，有很容易找到一个比较廉价的电力资源，然后劳动力成本相对也比较低，建设周期也比较短。像美国的话，因为他们需要各种各样的合规，然后要建立这样一个设施的话，要耗费比较长的时间。然后我相信我们成本的控制在全球方面，全球范围来讲都是比较有竞争力的。比如说我们公司运行现在的矿场，差不多占全世界算力的5%。现在我们所处的这个矿场呢，应该是最大的一个，差不多运行了有8000部的机器。
While China may be supersized compared to their American counterparts, there's one thing that they can't control: the weather.
差不多1个月一点小雨都没下，导致这个水的话水位下降，然后发电量就小一点嘛。比如说断电啊那些，它有一个板子坏了，它可能把这一台机器整机全部都影响，这个就要我们及时去处理。 应该帮不了，先看情况，反正尽量去帮嘛。如果
No water means no energy, which means these machines won't run. They'll have to move over 400 units several hours away to another facility. While how BTC's rigs are offline, some other Bitcoin miner somewhere is cashing in.
With Bitcoin, I don't want to say I feel any more secure than the fact that I have, cash in my pocket. If you take $1 and you hold a lighter up to it and catch it on fire, and you burn it, it's gone. If you lose the ability to get into your Bitcoin wallet or send your Bitcoin to the wrong person, it's pretty much gone.
In the past, a lot of darknet markets existed. Buyers had to deposit their Bitcoins into the market before they could place an order. The market admins kept their market online long enough to acquire a massive amount of money until they just shut it down. All of the deposited Bitcoins with a combined value of millions of dollars were stolen.
Whatever the intentions of its creator and adopters, Bitcoin is high risk and high stakes. But deep in its code are several unbreakable rules. One, that only 21 million coins will ever be mined. And two, that the amount of coins that can be mined at a time will be halved roughly every 4 years.
The halving could totally affect our business operations because our customers are getting 25 Bitcoin per block at this moment in time, and it's going to be 12.5. If the price of Bitcoin doesn't rise, then they're going to be making half of what they were making before.
I see there's going to be 3 options after the halving, basically. Option 1 is the best option. Speculation drives the price way up. Option 2 is woohoo, nothing happened. Option 3 is the scary one. What happens when a ton of machines become non-profitable and they just bulk unplug and trigger huge sell-offs? And so that could just drive the price way, way down.
I liken it to Y2K. There's a lot of thought into what you could potentially do to prepare for it, but there's really nothing to do. You're just gonna wait for that to happen.
Everyone's known about this since the day that they started.
一个比较普遍的批评，然后就是比特币是一种通缩货币。每天的话，我觉得现在来说，大多数人都是把它作为一种投机品，有点像类似于投资黄金、白银。比如说，今年1块钱一个比特币能买2个苹果，然后明年可能能买5个苹果，这样就会激励人们进行储蓄，而不是去消费。而当消费就是处于一种抑制的状态，然后经济可能会出现衰退。
The Bitcoin network has grown in ways nobody could anticipate or regulate. An algorithm running on tens of thousands of machines and counting, mutating into an uncertain future.
What was the last difficulty change?
I'm not sure.
I'm just curious how many people are going to unplug.
Everything's being hammered right now.
Bitcoin's code is supposed to make the currency stable, predictable. But what happens next is anybody's guess.
Yeah, it's still about the same.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's currently trending at $1,000. If miners unplug from the network en masse, transactions could freeze, users could panic, and the value of Bitcoin could plunge.
There's definitely a massive sell-off right now. Look at that. What do you think it's going to hit?
I think it's gonna tank down to the 5s and change and stay there. That's my thought.
I'm concerned because our business is 100% directly reflected on the price of coin and the profitability of our customers. If they can grow, we can grow. That's all there is to it.
That's it, man.
As the clock strikes 0, it ushers in a new era for Bitcoin.
Newly generated coins, look, 12.5.
We're good. And the price did not go up.
No, it didn't go up.
And it didn't crash.
It kind of crashed. It was trending at like 660, and now we're at 630. So it's not the end of the world, but we'll see.
Even if Bitcoin passes this test of its own making, it faces greater challenges beyond its control. To win the trust of the people, or become crushed under the weight of its own algorithm.